Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 15th, and today I listened to Ants from Up There by Black Country New Road. This is one of those albums that I literally had never heard of it before. I had never heard of the group before, but I kept seeing it pop up as like this really, really good album. I listened to it today, and yeah, I think it's worth the hype. This is my favorite album of the month so far. It's like if you combined the scale and splendor of Funeral by Arcade Fire with a sort of fun, inclusive vibe of In the Airplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel. I don't know if this is going to come across as hypocritical after what I said yesterday when reviewing Sonic Youth's Daydream Nation, but I think that this is a really good example of pacing done well with really long songs. There's a lot of really good musical moments on this album. This is definitely a band with a saxophonist, which I'm always partial to. I played saxophone through all of middle and high school. There's also the drummer, really went to town on this album. In fact, on the Snow Globe song, he kind of took it too far. The entire second half of that song was basically one extended drum solo, and in the background, you could hear the singer. There was also good use of strings, which I always appreciate in art rock, indie rock, that type of stuff. There was some really good moments of the interplay between the saxophone and the strings. And going back to that singer, my complaint with the vocals from Daydream Nation was that it just felt uninspired. In this one, he either can't sing very well or he's trying to make me believe that he can't sing very well. A lot of times it felt like a drunk guy doing karaoke. There are some fairly long songs on Ants from Up There, the longest being the closing track, Basketball Shoes, which I did think kind of overstayed its welcome, but oh my gosh, did they milk that climax for all it was worth. A lot of these songs are the ones that use the full, dynamic range. There's a lot of really quiet stuff, and then it builds to this gigantic, I want to say cacophony, but that sounds negative, just as, reverberating wall of sound. Also, for the really long songs, they divide them into distinct sections. Usually the first part of it is a lot more quiet and slow, and then they speed it up and make it more intense for the second part, which really helps the whole song feel like it has this sort of rise and fall instead of just being this block of noise. When it comes to the lyrical content, I haven't the faintest idea what most of these songs are about. Now I'm just thinking of that SpongeBob quote. It's like, wow, I sure don't know what he's saying, but he does sound convincing. That is the vibe I get from a lot of the songs. One of them is about, eating toast in bed and there being breadcrumbs in the bed, and he's singing it like it's the biggest, most important thing in the world. Two songs from this album in particular really stood out. The first is Concord. It's one of the ones that has two distinct parts to it, and I really loved all of it. The first half was a lot quieter, and the second half they brought the intensity up a lot. But my favorite song on the entire album is The Place Where He Inserted the Blade. If I had to pick one song that reminds me the most of, it is Hey Jude, the only Beatles song I can think of that I wholeheartedly love. It kept building and it kept getting bigger and bigger, and by the end it was just so huge and triumphant. I thought that this album was great. Albums like this are why I do Album April, to find hidden gems like this one. Though it's probably not that hidden, I just haven't been looking in the right places. This music was right up my alley. I love this type of indie rock, Britpop type of stuff. The Place Where He Inserted the Blade is one of those songs that I'm going to be listening to on my own time after Album April is over, like The Great Curve by Talking Heads, or In the Backseat by Arcade Fire. Overall, great album. Although I realize I have no idea why it's called Ants from Up There. I'm gonna go look that up. Apparently the title is a reference to the fact that when you're up in an airplane, like a Concorde, the people on the ground look like ants. I'm starting to feel like they do want to draw a sort of connection between this and In the Airplane Over the Sea. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.